Looks like I'm lit for a horror movie. Sort of appropriate, I guess. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different, and apologies that my lighting is very much like I am in some kind of film noir, but I promise you I'm not. Maybe I should put this in black and white. But today I thought I'd do a bit of a different video and just sit down and have a chat and tell you about my most recent tattoo. But before we get started with that, if you are new around here and this is the first time seeing my face, then I would love it if you would hit subscribe and to join the Gore Gang. Usually I do videos about all sorts of weird spooky history and strange news from around the internet, all sorts of random stuff. So if that's your sort of thing, then I would love it if you join the channel. And if you're not new here, then welcome back, old fiend. Nice to see you again. Okay, so I recently went and got tattooed at Parliament Tattoo by Danny J. I think she's Danny Johnson, but I think she usually just goes by Danny J. I decided to get a Nautilus done. I already have a Nautilus shell on the left-hand side of my stomach, so it just seemed like a sensible thing to do. And the plan when I originally got that tattoo was to get it mirrored on the other side by the same artist, but I think I've spoken about this in a previous video about my tattoos when I did my whole sort of overview of all of my tattoos. The girl who was meant to do the other side quit tattooing, and so I've never been able to get that piece finished. So yeah, so I was looking to find somebody who could do a similar style. Now for me, when I'm thinking about getting a tattoo, not a ton of thought goes into it. Obviously I'd already decided what I was going to get on my stomach anyway, but I knew that because this was going to be a different artist doing this side, that there was no point in trying to get it symmetrical, because I didn't want them to try and copy the other one, because I really liked Danny's work and it just seemed like a good thing to do, to actually get her to design something fresh and new for it, still in the similar style but just with her own take on it. So we went for the classic Nautilus, which I love Nautilus, they are just so cute. I don't see many people with Nautilus tattoos. Like, there's probably thousands of them out there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they've all got them in the same place I have, so you don't see them all the time. And also I really like that kind of botanical style of drawing, so that's the style that I went with. So how did I go about finding Danny? I've been following Parliament on Instagram for a while, and I knew that they've got quite a lot of good black work artists, and I originally saw the skeletons that Danny was drawing, and I thought they were just really, really cool, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll just get a skeleton booked in. And then I thought, hang on a second, you've got a piece that is completely unfinished, so you should probably get that done first. I messaged her over some pictures of my previous Nautilus that I've got on my stomach, and said to her, would you be happy to do the mirrored one on the other side, but not mirrored, you can, you know, I want one with tentacles this time. And then she completely got it and said, yeah, I would love to do it. So got me booked in and away we went. I could have had my appointment slightly earlier, I could have had it in February, but I had a few things booked in February, so I didn't want to, well, I wouldn't have been able to afford it in February, so basically I decided to wait until March to get it done. And also, I don't know if I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but I have a bit of a tradition of getting tattooed on my birthday. I don't tend to do it so much around the date now, but every year I try and get something as a little present to myself. That's not to say that I don't buy myself lots of other tattoos throughout the year as well, but it's an excuse. So how was it getting tattooed on that side? Well, actually, it's weirdly okay. I have had my chest tattooed, and which you again will have seen in a previous video. I'm just going to link this video, like, I can never remember which side it is, but on one of these sides here, so you can go and have a look at that if you haven't caught that video before, because that's where I explain all of my previous tattoos, so that will get you up to speed, so anything from now will be new. And yeah, getting my chest tattooed was fine. Getting the other side of my stomach, I remember it being a little bit spicy, but it wasn't too bad. And my watch has just told me I'm 16% happier. I don't know how it knows that. but it's because I'm talking to you. So there you go, you make me 16% happier. So yeah, so getting tattooed on that side was actually fine. Danny is very, very gentle. She's not like a proper grinder. Whenever you get the lining of a tattoo done, it's always going to be the worst bit, but luckily that's always the first bit, so that's over, and then it just goes to shading from there, so it's never too bad. I would say some of the outer bits of the tattoo, like definitely up towards the boob area, for example, that was a bit spicy, and out towards the ribs as well. That was a little bit not as bad as going up into the boob, but the bit going out onto the ribs, sort of a similar type of pain. I would say there was only one little bit which made my eyes roll back in my head. But honestly, for me, getting tattooed on my stomach is more bearable for me than my arms. I hate getting my arms tattooed. The tops of my arms are really, really sensitive. I find it quite hard to get my arms tattooed. I just find that like the general torso area, the skin is smoother and just easier to tattoo on. I don't know whether that is the case. I know the skin's a little bit more rubbery there, but yeah, it just feels like it's a much nicer area to tattoo on, because it's just not, not as weather beaten as the bits of skin that get shown to the world all the time. So how do I go about keeping it clean? Well, everybody has their own sort of healing process for tattoos, but basically what I tend to do is I just get 2 sheets of kitchen roll. I obviously wash my hands to begin with. 1 piece of kitchen roll I get wet and I put a very, very mild just bar soap on it, to be honest. I have tried liquid soaps in the past and like gentle soaps, but actually I find some liquid soaps a little bit too abrasive for a tattoo, whereas bar soap is, even though it's, cheap and cheerful, it actually works really well. So just a tiny little bit of that. You really don't need very much. You're just trying to lift away anything that's sort of got stuck on it overnight. Just give it a very, very gentle wipe down. And then I like to leave it with the soap on it just for a minute or so to sort of get any crusties off it, and then just give it a wipe. I like to also just check that it's coming back clean, because if it needs a further wipe, then I'll continue on with that. You're looking for no ink coming off it, basically. And then I'll take another sheet of kitchen towel and just have just some clear water, pure water, just normal tap water, and just wipe that down without any soap on it, and then just leave it to air dry. You can pat it down if you're in a rush, but I like to leave it to air dry. I then put some cocoa butter on top of it, just a little bit. When it's getting towards the itchier stage, then I will up the amount of cocoa butter that's on it, but all the while after these first few days, then I just like to put a little bit on there just to keep it a little bit moist and stop it from drying out. I don't like my tattoos to scab. Some people really like their tattoos to scab. I personally don't think it's a very good way to heal your tattoo, because you can get cracks and things in it. I have done it that way before, and it's not for me. It might be for other people, but it really is not for me. And I don't think tattoo artists like it if you leave your tattoos to scab as well, but obviously each their own, and do what you like, really. It's your tattoo at the end of the day. If you want it to heal like crap, then that's up to you. I'll then get a clean bit of cling film, and you want to pull it off the roll, and you want to use the bit that's not been out on the air, so you're using the clean side to put it down, and then just tap that onto the area, and then get some micropore and stick it around so you can secure that dressing over the top. I tend to rip the micropore into little pieces, because if you have big strips and they start to kind of, I don't know, during the day they do this and then they fall apart. So the best thing to do is to just do little strips, and that will hold it in place quite nicely throughout the day. If you've got any sticky out bits of cling film, the best thing to do is also micropore those down. You don't need to micropore it to your skin, but just micropore it to the other pieces of cling film that are on there, because otherwise it's going to flap about and it's going to get caught. For the first few days, if it's something on my torso, then I like to wear something that's a bit tighter, so it just holds everything together, because otherwise if you've got clothes that are rubbing on it, it's just going to irritate that area and also pull the cling film away, and it's just going to be a whole big mess. So best off wearing something a little bit tighter. So with the cleaning process, I do that when I wake up in the morning, and then before I go to bed as well. I put a fresh one on before I go to bed. So it's twice a day cleaning. First 3 days I keep it wrapped. I always keep it wrapped for the first 3 days. If your tattooer has given you Dermalize, I think it's the first 2 days you can wear your Dermalize for, or whenever it starts falling off. I know some people wear it for like 7 days straight, but your tattooer will tell you what the best thing is to do with Dermalize. So just as a general overall, I really liked my experience at Parliament. Danny is not a chatty tattooer. Some tattooers you get will completely just talk your ear off the whole way through, which is fine, and it's a nice distraction. Danny said to me before we even got started, which I thought was very nice of her, to say that she's not actually a big chatter when she's tattooing, because she likes to concentrate on what she's doing. And to be honest, I would rather that she concentrates and does a good job than has a good natter with me. That's not for everybody, because I know some people really like to have a nice long chat whilst they're getting tattooed to take their mind off it. And I mainly just kind of relaxed into it the whole way through and just closed my eyes and got on with it. I find using your phone as distraction is quite a good one, but for this area I had to put my arms up, stick my head at a funny angle, so it wasn't really possible to do that. So if you're thinking about getting your stomach tattooed, for me, personally, pretty easy. I would say it's probably not a starter tattoo, but then who's to say what is a starter tattoo? Because when I first got tattooed, I got tattooed over my kidneys. So that's not a good place to start getting tattooed at all, because it's very, very painful. Clearly you can see it didn't put me off, because here we are. And yeah, I'm getting pretty covered. Generally, I would say it was about a 4, but in some of those spicier areas, definitely a 6, possibly pushing it to an 8. It's only a few seconds if you're getting something small, so you're okay, just go ahead and do it. And also, what I always say to people is, you've only got to get it done once, and that's it. So you're sorted. And then you have it for the rest of your life. So just get it done. It's not a big issue, not a big problem. Okie dokie, on those wise words of wisdom, I'm going to leave you to it for today. Thank you for joining me. My name is Nikki Druce, and I will see you ghouls next time. Oh, and if you want more videos like this, just like more chilled out, chatty videos, or there's anything you want to know, or any questions you want me to answer, then pop them in the comments below, and I'll see you there. Okay, bye!